Hey guys, I want to tell you a story today about my relationship with God. Now, I grew up in a Lutheran church, and growing up in a Lutheran church, I'd always believed in God. Never even doubted his existence. But this story today is about how God believed in me. When I was about 21 years old, I felt God calling me to ministry. And so, not knowing how to do it, I started attending a Lutheran lay school in Wisconsin. Well, all that was going fine, but then in digging into the Word and getting to know God better, I realized that He was calling me somewhere else. He was calling me to Oregon. And now this scared me because I lived my whole life in Wisconsin. But out of obedience, I packed all my stuff up in my car, and I started to drive. I left everything I'd known behind. All my family was there. I had previously been engaged to a wonderful woman, and I said, I feel God calling me and I have to obey his call. Well, as you can imagine, I was scared and I was hopeless, and I felt like there was a lot of stuff that I couldn't control. I remember I was so scared that when I was in Minnesota, I turned my phone off. I wouldn't have my phone on all the way through Wisconsin and all the way through Minnesota, because I was afraid that somebody was going to call me and ask me to turn back. And I didn't want to do that. I knew I was scared, and I knew if the right person called, I'd probably turn that car around immediately. So what happened was I got here, and it wasn't what I thought it would be. The grass wasn't greener. The pay wasn't more. It was hard to find a job. Let's just say the first year I was here was just sad and lonely and depressed. Nothing that I expected, my hopes and dreams that I had for being here, was all crushed. So about a year after being out here, I went back to visit. And when I got back there, it was comfortable. It was, the place that I knew I loved. And so I started thinking to myself, maybe I need to move back here. And I went to church. I went to my old church that morning. And the sermon was on the guy with the plow. And I forget the verse, but it says, the man who puts his hand to the plow and looks back is not fit for the kingdom of God. And I said, what? I said, isn't that what I'm doing on this trip? All I'm doing is looking back to where I was, who I was. That was comfortable to me. Needless to say, God really spoke to me that moment. And I got back to Oregon as quickly as possible. And through all this suffering that I had in Oregon and all this struggle, I learned exactly how to have a relationship with God. I finally knew that God was there for me. Through prayer and not having anything, for me, this was a season of pruning. God took away my family, took away my friends, took away everything that made me comfortable and made me rely on him. And now it's been 10 years. I'm still here. I'm still loving God. I'm working for God. And God has finally revealed to me everything he wants from me. And I'm so glad that I obeyed him. Thanks, guys, for listening. And just continue to pray for me as I continue to be here. Thanks, guys. Bye.